Welcome back to AkamaiTV. I'm Simone Stewart. I am really excited to talk to our next guest. Many of us have brands that we connect with. For me, ASICS is one of them. Today, I'm actually wearing my ASICS G2000 running shoe, which has been my running shoe of choice for the last 2.5 years. And so one of the things that I'm really excited to understand is how ASICS makes decisions around technology. So joining me today is Peter Nealon, Director of Platform Engineering at ASICS, to talk about the decision-making, the brand-driven decision-making at ASICS. Welcome to AkamaiTV, Peter.
Yeah, thank you so much for this opportunity. It's really exciting to spend some time talking about ASICS and talking about Akamai as well.
All right.
Sort of hop into talking a little bit about what ASICS looks like. ASICS is one of 4 brands, so it's ASICS, ASICS Tiger, Onitsuka Tiger, and High-Gloss. Even one of the interesting parts is that Nike grew out of a partnership with Onitsuka Tiger. And there's some interesting reading to have around Blue Ribbon and Onitsuka Tiger in particular. Mm-hmm. But in terms of technology for the organization, it's a wide variety of different things. So it's everything from mobile applications like Runkeeper and ASICS Studio, to e-commerce, to things that are direct to consumers, so things that are in our brand stores. So we have mobile apps for analyzing running styles, for being able to measure your foot in order to provide better fitting shoes. So it's a really wide variety of different pieces of software and different platforms that we try to stitch together in order to have really quality engagement and quality feedback loops with our customers.
Awesome. When I think about a running shoe or running shoe company, I very rarely associate that to the technology behind it.
Right.
Can you share a little bit about what are the guiding principles you guys use to make your technology decisions?
Sure, and it's in some ways it's simple because we start with our customers, and those are the people that are both buying our shoes, but also our internal customers who are using other of these supporting applications, that drive our business. So when we start from our customers and start working backwards, it becomes easier to think about how can we be most responsive, how can we most quickly deliver on the expectations that our customers have, and then how can we use that in order to be able to drive a set of approaches to engineering and technology that allows us to move really quickly and sort of reduce the number of impediments that we have to getting features in front of customers, starting to learn from them, and really delighting our customers and really driving some of the core principles that we have of getting everyone moving and making sure that we're engaging with a community of customers that are passionate about our brand and are getting healthier through the relationship with our brand.
Nice.
So part of that is being able to reduce the friction in getting features out the door.
So as a brand, obviously the shoe, the athletic wear is sort of what you guys are focused on. How do you make decisions around when to build versus when to buy?
Yeah, and this is something that we have as an early part of most of our technology conversations. So we're in the midst of a number of migrations for our e-commerce platform to move to a platform that allows us to concentrate on the core values of our business and our customers and not concentrate on operating the systems as much as delivering features for our customers. So choosing platforms that allow us to reduce the operational overhead, to reduce the friction for getting features out the door and for building engagement with our customers is one of the very early conversations that we have. So we try to concentrate on things, and questions around, is this something that a vendor could help us achieve? Is this something that a vendor would have a vastly greater expertise in? And if that's the case, then our first approach is going to be to start looking at what vendors are out there and how can they possibly help us. And And conversely, if it's things around our business logic, if it's around things that are about engaging with our customers, if it's something that's going to provide a better feedback loop for us to learn more quickly, then those are things that we're going to concentrate on building in-house, having the expertise in-house, and then being able to more quickly respond to our business needs and our customer needs.
So a lot of times, one of the things that it boils down to for the build versus buy decision is control and the relationship with vendors. Talk to me a little bit about how you work with vendors to make sure that you're working in partnership and meeting your customers' needs.
Sure, and I think some of this grows out of the culture that we look to build internally at ASICS, which is a culture of trust and collaboration. So we continually focus on the values of us as a company, and those are values that we're then also going to look for in some of our vendors. So being able to evaluate vendors, based on track record, based on just reputation in the community, and certainly like technology and feature set. I'd be lying if that wasn't an important quality. But being able to look at vendors that have shared values along with us, that have a track record of being responsive to customers and understanding of customer needs, and being able to be responsive to our needs, because as we're trusting other vendors and platforms, and especially given that we have a focus on using infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, those sorts of cloud-based services where we are really trusting that those services will be up and available, it becomes ever so more important to establish that relationship and that trust and that feedback loop.
Was there a trigger point for you guys that changed so that the culture or the mindset around build versus buy, or?
Absolutely, and I think some of that even comes out of the where ASICS Digital came from, which was ASICS was looking to acquire a mobile platform that would allow them to engage with customers. They were looking to jumpstart some digital transformation for the global ASICS organization, and they arrived at Runkeeper that was a terrific match for what they were trying to do. So they wanted to be able to acquire an audience of customers, but then also acquire a collection of engineers, product managers, project managers, marketing people that really understood direct to consumer and engaging directly with customers. And out of that, was that acquisition of Runkeeper. And by doing so, jump-starting the digital transformation, allowing us to make decisions to stay as lean as possible from a staffing and responsiveness standpoint, and then be able to use that core collection of people to drive this culture of let's try to remove impediments and move as quickly as possible and be as responsive as possible to transform the rest of the organization from what was a largely B2B sort of business to a B2C focused business.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like at ASICS you guys have certainly come away in finding an operational model that allows you guys to focus on what's important to you and what's important for your end customers, while leaving the core competencies that are not within your organization to your vendors, and you've established pretty strong vendor relationships. We at Akamai are happy to be a partner with you guys. So we certainly thank you for joining us today, talking about your experience, and we welcome our customers to check out ASICS brand. Check out Runkeeper.
Yes, thank you so much.
This has been AkamaiTV. Thank you.
Thank you.